Dr. Anthony Fauci might finally face justice. The Senate's Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee just voted on a party line vote of 8-5 to recommend criminal charges against Fauci for contempt of Congress. Dr. Rand Paul has already vowed that he will send it to the Department of Justice for further action. And this is a big development because the American people have been crying out for justice against Dr. Anthony Fauci ever since his time as a leading specialist in the NIAID leading the COVID pandemic response. Before we get into the story, please like, share, and comment at the Becker Brief. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci has become somewhat of an icon in terms of seeking governmental accountability for the COVID pandemic response. He was far from the only one who was making recommendations that we have lockdowns and mandates and other types of draconian responses to the viral outbreak. And Fauci now is someone who is facing criminal investigations in 4 states that would be West Virginia, Florida, Louisiana, and Alabama. And now we have the Florida Attorney General, James Utmeyer, who is saying that nothing is off the table and that Fauci was one of the leading figures in the COVID pandemic response. There was essentially a blackout about all of this, and they are not giving you the full truth about what Fauci said in his personal documents. Now, he may have ordered or directed a staff member to erase lots and lots, or as the term went, tons of emails. And that staffer, the Kentucky Senator Rand Paul said, would be brought in before Senate testimony. And potentially also Peter Daszak of EcoHealth Alliance, who was a go-between or a cutout for the funding that Fauci directed towards this Wuhan laboratory. Again, they were engaging in risky dual-use research, not only something that was potentially helpful in preventing or mitigating a viral outbreak, but could be weaponized as a virus against the public. So some very serious things going on in the background, of course, of all of this. Fauci, he was also a visitor to the CIA. They kept that off of the books. This is just a giant cloud of mystery over who Fauci is and what he was doing. And so now they have one piece of the puzzle that might help solve this mystery, and that was his phone. The Wall Street Journal reported recently that the HHS turned over his government-issued phone, and so we might get more information about what Fauci was doing during the COVID pandemic response, who he was talking to, and about what, if it hasn't been wiped clean and bleach-bitted as Hillary Clinton's phone was, as you might recall. So Fauci, he's facing multiple criminal investigations, as I said, at the state level. The contempt of Congress charges are going to be forwarded to the Department of Justice, according to Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. And Anthony Fauci, he's in hot water. We'll see what happens to the 85-year-old doctor. And I think this is a promising development if we see some type of accountability for actions that may have been misleading to the public. With due process in a court of law, it would be a very promising start. I think the American people are craving justice more than ever. So weigh in with your thoughts about this story. We always appreciate hearing from you at the Becker Brief.